All right, TikTok review time. Let's see if we can learn anything from these ladies. I haven't seen this yet. Just came into my video feed or whatever, so clicked on it and said, need to do my daily review. Let's do it. Let's see what we can learn. Make men better, make relationships better. Let's go.
Guess who got asked out by a 29-year-old very attractive man?
I think it's you.
Me.
Cool.
And guess who's...
Okay, so younger man, older woman. It's cool. Well, I mean, both men and women like youth, and not a problem with that. The reason men and women are different. We can be equal, but we are different, human beings. So the reason that a younger woman and older man tends to work out is because women want a leader. Women want somebody with wisdom. Women want somebody that's been through things. Women want somebody with experience. A leader needs wisdom. A leader needs knowledge and humbleness. And you tend to get that with age, right? So a younger man cannot necessarily, not impossible, but generally a younger man is not going to be able to lead a woman. He's not going to have the wisdom that she wants. He's not going to have the experience that she needs. He's not going to have the traits to be a leader. So that's why there's a double standard. Now, she can like it, but more than likely it'll just be a sexual thing, which is fine. And women will say, oh, they don't like it. And, this does boost their ego. But at the same time, a lot of times, guys that are 29 probably want women younger than them or a little bit older than them. And when they can't get it, they go older because the older women are easier to get. So watch the ego there. Men are usually, you're not their first option. Let me just say that. They're not going after you because they're successful with women. They're going after you because they're unsuccessful with women. And so you're the next option. I don't mean to be mean. I did that myself when I was younger. When I couldn't when I didn't have the options available, I went for an older woman and usually was successful. So anyway.
Me. What the hell is going on? What is...
It's very common, I just told you. When they can't get their first option, they'll go with their second option. And your ego gets boosted, and it works. It's not new.
I can't seem to connect with anybody my own age. Men that are 50 and over, they look like they're going to close their eyes. They're having back surgery, knee surgery, every kind of...
Okay. Men need to get in better shape. I understand that. But when I see men and women together, I normally see the man is in better health. I don't know if you've seen the obesity problem lately. So I don't like when they go after men like this because women have the same health problems that men have. So anyway, but women do like younger men.
You can imagine? Then I get the 45 and over crew. You connect with them one time, they want you to send a catalog of sexy pics through the phone before you even meet. And now this.
You're dealing with men on dating apps or in your DMs. So, yeah. Those aren't quality people. So, yeah, I don't ask for naked pictures. I'll want to see you naked, but I'm not going to need pictures. So, any man doing that, y'all, don't do it, ladies.
This 29-year-old man, and I have a 21-year-old daughter. That to me is like, people do this, I guess.
Yes, they do this, and I hate this, like, cope or whatever. Guys will say, oh, God, I can't date her. She's 19 and she's beautiful. I have a daughter her age. Okay, but she's still getting you aroused, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's an adult. As long as she's a consenting adult, and she, is sexy looking, nothing wrong. Stop, I don't like, be unapologetic with what you like.
And there's no judgment passed, but this is not a path that I think I can go on. He can be my son.
There you go.
Think about that for a second. He could be my son. I can't seem to get it right. I don't...
This is performative. It's her public face. So, she doesn't mean any of this. She loves it.
Belong. I don't know where I belong. Can someone please tell me where I belong? Maybe it's a sign that I just shouldn't be dating. This is clearly why.
Well, you always will be dating because you love men and we love women. Let's not, and what we can't fool ourselves. Air, water, food. sexuality, strong desire right there with air, water, and food. So none of us are going to quit dating and be happy. None of us are going to quit wanting to have men or women in our lives and be happy. We love each other. God made it this way. That's why there's 4 billion people on the planet.
I am single and happy. Yesterday, my phone rang twice. Nobody left a message. It was a gentleman.
Okay, and here's the thing. If you're happy, then just be happy, right? People who have to announce it to the world makes me raise an eyebrow, right? I am happy. I am, if I were, bragging, I am strong. I am the best at this. The best people at something are humble and they don't have to talk because they win through their actions, not through argument. Law number 9.
On a dating app. And
What?
I thought, how peculiar. Do you want to get in touch with me?
She's on a dating app. Why are you on a dating app? Because they're awesome. That's where all the hot men are. You love men, don't you? So you go to the dating apps. No women use dating apps, yet we see all these women using dating apps because they love men. If if they didn't love men, they wouldn't be there. Thank you for being on a dating app. Thank you for going where we are. You love us, and we love you.
We met up, but we chatted. He was someone that I thought maybe had some potential. This was last summer. So a few minutes later, he texted me. This is textbook. And said, "Hi, I'm trying to do a little family get together." So I said, "Oh, I think you have the wrong person." 10 minutes later, he messaged, "Kiss." Then he messaged, "I'm at the Shore House, like I care. Come see me." I thought, what kind of craziness is this? Is this what a 65-year-old man does to show interest in a woman that he hasn't ever met, that he just came upon?
Yeah, you can't show thirst too early. Women like players. See, and this kind of gives the game away. The language exposes themselves, right? This might be a man that's not dating. This might be a man that's not a player. This might be a man that was in a 30-year relationship, and I've seen these, right? And he's now single, and he's excited to meet somebody new. So he's moving fast. He's a little bit thirsty, right? But they hate thirst. I mean, this is the duplicity of women that they don't even understand. But it's who they are. It's a feature, not a bug. But you just got to recognize it, right? Women want men that have options, because men that have options are men that are wanted, that have good genes, right? So a man that has options won't move fast. He won't move with thirst. She'll need to actually probably chase him. Women love to chase men, the men they like, the men that they really, really like. Because if you're chasing her like he's doing now, they run, see? And women go, we like to be chased. He is chasing her. And what's she doing? She's running, basically.
Looking at his phone and thought, this is the one that got away. I mean, life gets ahead of us. So, of course, I was intrigued. I went to my computer to see what the last conversation was with this gentleman. And indeed, we had a phone chat scheduled, and he never answered.
Yeah, she had to go to her computer and see what the last chat was. And because she's had so many. And that's the thing, like, I think they show the stats, right? And, women end up matching with like 5% of the men on dating apps. And then, but the ones that they match with, they'll message about 90% of them, and they'll actually be in conversations with about 90% of them. But they'll only meet about 1% of them. So women will talk your butt off. They love attention. So she had to go through all the guys she was talking to because she doesn't even remember talking to this guy. Ain't that nice? That's why low investment, gentlemen. No 5-star dinners, no dinners, low investment.
He goes,
She didn't even know who he was. She had to go check.
so you snooze, you lose, but I'm pretty disgusted. What kind of behavior is that, to try to gaslight me into answering him and then...
It's not that serious. This is negativity. The guy was just excited to meet you, and he wanted you to come out. You were turned off by the thirst, but she's making it all this diabolical plan. It wasn't. He was just excited to meet you, and you don't like that.
At the Shore House, like, oh, gee, now I'm really going to call you. I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't need a man with a shore house. I need a man that's a man.
Today's video is about dating over 50.
God forbid a man showed excitement to get together with her and come out and have a good time. And look how she turned it. Don't show too much interest,
For a lot of people, it's starting to feel less like an opportunity and more like something you have to mentally prepare for. Because what you're about to see isn't just a few bad dates or bad luck. It's a pattern, and once you start noticing it, you realize this isn't just about individuals anymore. It's about how dating itself has changed.
I've never been so happy to see a man eat his last bite of steak. I want a date. I don't even know why.
See, yeah, and they already know. Taking them to dinner, and a steak sounds like steakhouse, nice dinner, right? They don't appreciate it. They don't care. That's not going to help you, get her aroused. So lower investment. If she likes you, she'll chase you, and it doesn't matter what you do. If she likes you, she doesn't care what you do on the date.
I am doing this. This one was worse than Cat Dad. He's an attorney. I don't care. But he found a way to...
Yes, you do care. You want status, right? Women like status. Women like men who are competent. Attorneys are, sometimes sought after. It doesn't make or break it, but yeah.
say either attorney or lawyer 28 times over dinner. Yes, I counted. Conservative.
Well, he's bragging. Women don't like men who brag. Women like humble men. Women like to discover you. You don't need to brag. Don't point out your good deeds. She'll discover you. She wants it to discover you. If let's say, you are the, superhero of the year, 1 year, and you tell her, hey, I was a superhero of the year. I saved a family of dogs and, got cats fostered in new homes. And, I was the March of Dimes president and I was a member of the Chambers of Commerce. And if she discovers that, she'll go, that is so cool. I heard you saved some dogs and you Chambers of Commerce guy. But if you tell her, she won't be impressed because you're bragging. It's just the way it is. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And I get it though. And, it's like, I'm not coming hard on women. I do understand them.
Christian. I love my Jesus. But he was that type.
Wearing it on his sleeve.
But at the same time, looking at me like I'm a pork chop. He ain't eating this pork chop. It's one and done. I feel so devastated.
Somebody's eating that pork chop, just not him. That's okay.
To pull into my local watering hole for a consolation drink.
Let's talk about dating.
No, because men will be there and boost your ego. Anyway.
Plus, shall we? Okay. Well, here's the thing. Dating at 60 does not feel like a requirement like it did at 26.
Liar. It's not a requirement, but you love men. That's why you're talking about it. That's why you're thinking about it. You love us. You'll never not love us. We love women. That's why there's 4 billion people on the... Stop acting like we don't love each other. You love men. You love D. We love VJJ. And God made it that way. Air, water, food, sex.
Oh.
Stop acting like you don't want it or need it.
60, you don't need to date anybody if you don't want to.
Yes, you do.
You don't have that urgency, that feeling of, oh my...
Then why are you talking about it? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, someone that doesn't need something, doesn't talk about it, I would be kind of exaggerating. Fish ain't going to be talking about water. We really need more water in this sea. No, they don't even see it. They're in the water. You don't talk about things you don't need or you don't want. You're talking about dating because you think about it. All right.
If I don't meet somebody, I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to start a family. I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. No.
At 60, you can't. So relax. Anyway.
The pressure is gone. So now what you have is, do I want to do it or do I don't want to do it? Totally up to you. But beware if you do it. No, because you still have a JJ. And you still, hopefully, if you're a healthy woman, you have a JJ that gets wet. If you're not a healthy woman, it doesn't get wet. But the fact that you're talking about dating, you're probably healthy. So you still have a JJ that gets wet. That you have no control over the feelings that happen when you see a man that is a badass to you. Your tingles will still happen, which is a wonderful thing.
because we go into life and, despite our age, we can still be excited about women. We can still be excited about men. Women can be excited about men. Men can be excited about women,
Since you were dating back in your 20s and early 30s, it's rare that you just meet somebody. It's usually through a dating app now.
No, for you, it's through a dating app. When you were 20, and a lot of 20-year-olds don't need a dating app because they got guys coming at them everywhere because they're young and hot, right? They're not a woman that, probably needs a little bit of exercise, needs to, again, I'm going to go in on it, guys. It's not being mean, but if you're going to complain about dating, this woman right here can slack off her hairdo, can slack off on her makeup, can slack off on her fitness, because a dating app's easy, and that's where men are. You're doing it the easy way. You're on easy mode. But women who are about it, just trying to think of somebody, but what's that? What's Tom Brady's wife? Giselle, whatever. But she'll meet someone in person. I can't even think of like hot chick. I don't even watch movies anymore. But I'm trying to think. Anyway, hot girls. So a Ukrainian supermodel would have no problem meeting somebody in public. She doesn't need a dating app. You need a dating app because you're sloppy.
Which is completely normal, and it's what people do. It's easier. It cuts out everything else. It cuts out.
Man, I haven't even seen. It's easier. Yeah, for women, it's easier because thirsty men are in there wanting to bang you, but it's not fulfilling. You're also punching above your weight in a dating app because hot guys, will entertain you for a little bit, but the men you want don't want you. And the men you don't want you. That's the problem. You can have 1,000 guys in your inbox, but if that equation doesn't work, then you're still going to be unhappy. But the reason dating apps work for women is they're easy. You should be getting picked up on the street. That should be your barometer. So.
Endless nights in a bar. But at the same time.
And what's the bar? I always see this is a fallacy, a logical fallacy or whatever. The only place to meet is not a bar. We did meet people at bars at one time, but people are like, I'm not going to a bar. Well, you have work, you have the gym, you can join a run club, you can do a dance class, you can do an art class, you can do so many, church. Why is it always the bar? I mean, if you're a woman going out on the streets outside, men will see you, and if you're a hot woman and you're put together and you have your style on point and you have your fitness on point, just like men need to have it. I'm just as hard on men as I am on women. We need to maximize our looks, maximize our attraction to the opposite sex or our appeal to the opposite sex, right? And if you do that, you'll get attention in the street, and they'll ask you out in the street. You don't need a dating app. The bar, you wouldn't. Yeah. Tons of people never went to bars and met people.
You need to prepare yourself for the expectations as well. So, I'm just here to tell you, if you want...
Yeah, you need to... I'm getting a lot out of this lady. You need to prepare yourself for the expectation of when you go after that hot dude, that super hot alpha Chad, he is going to be hard to pin down. So you're going to see women, especially on the dating apps, they're punching over their weight, outside their weight class, and they're having a hard time. They're finding men that don't want them, and they're also finding men that they don't want. But the ones that don't want them, they don't want. The ones that want them, they don't want. The ones that they want don't want them. That's the problem with dating app.
Great. If you don't want to do it, even better. There's nothing wrong with that.
I went on a date the other night, and I have to tell you, I've got to share it.
You don't have to, but let's hear it. Maybe we can learn something. She's pretty.
I'm going to spill the beans. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Just because...
Well, you deserve your privacy. I agree.
You guys know I share everything. I'm going to tell you about the date.
No, you do not. Okay, but that's cool. Like I just call it out when I see it. And then this is I'm just clowning with her. I think I have a good time. I love women. There are men that need women, and those are usually the men that treat them badly. And there's men that want the women because we love to be around them and we love what they're about, and that's me. So I don't go hard on women as far as putting them down and being disrespectful. I can still opine on what they're saying. So she's image managing, she's reputation managing. That's what women do, her public face, which is good. She needs to.
That I share so much about my life with you. I'm not going to share much about him and his name because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be negative. But I want to tell you what turned me off.
You just
bad
said
manners. But not just one thing, not just yet, super bad manners. I don't know. It was a first date. He didn't open the door. It was an entire evening of super bad. And I thought,
okay, if he's hot, and if you get your vajayjay wet, she's pretty. She's I like her. I like her personality too. But if he's hot and he gets your vajayjay wet, women don't care if they get that feeling, and that's good. I mean, that's a good thing. We want feelings. We want to get, women want to get the tingles. Men want to feel that rush of desire, right? And when we feel that, when we see mistakes or we see things we don't like, we'll let it go, right? Same with women. When they get that arousal, when they get that vajayjay wet, and when they are super turned on by you, they don't care about not opening the door. They're going to say they do, but they don't. Trust me. That's their public face, right? Why do women tend to not tend, but a lot of times date guys that are disrespectful, that are rude, that have bad manners. We've seen it, and we're like, how can she date that guy? Because he's hot to her, right? So yeah, we see it all the time. But and I have a great friend of mine that I used to date. We still keep in touch. We're still best friends, right? We used to date, so that's okay to have a female friend that you used to date, right? And we didn't work out, but we're still best of friends, right? And I help her out when she has problems with dating, and it's kind of funny because she doesn't recognize this. And just what this lady's saying is, she'll tell me about a date and she'll start complaining about the guy. He did this and he did this, and he got bad cologne on him. But the more she doesn't like a guy, the more she has to complain about, right? I say, well, the guy the other day did something similar, and you didn't complain about that because he was hot, right? Anyway, let's do it.
I have 2 sons, and I think this has a lot to do with the way people are raised, because honestly, he seemed okay. It's just that there was so much that it turned me off. But I thought to myself, I have 2 sons.
If they're hot enough, Alpha Chad, you can't be turned off. You're aroused. So a little thing like not opening the door and, no.
When they were teenagers, I taught them, I think, super good manners.
And it's good to have good manners. We're not.
I can't, and probably there were other things that, just did not, maybe it was just enough. But that was the first thing, and I think it was all downhill from there. I need to know in the comments. Would that bother you? It was just one.
Like I said, and I've seen it with my friends. I've seen guys, some of my friends that, that are attractive, and, maybe they're not treating a girl right, or just someone in my social circle that maybe I don't know that well or whatever. And I'm like, that dude's such a jerk, and he's treating her like a jerk. But, it's like, why does she, again, it goes back to what are they attracted to? What are they aroused by?
Not opening the door, not even asking me about what kind of food I like, not asking about where I want, just nothing.
Again, none of this checklist matters, and this goes back to the Royce, and I'll leave it here. But Royce, from Chateau Artiste, but he used to say, he's no longer in the business anymore, but he used to say, a woman's 435 point checklist or whatever, it dies when Alpha Chad comes. She just crumples it up and throws it away, which is true. She has all these checklists for Beta Bob, who's not making the cut. He has to do extra. And if he's not opening the doors, if he's not being nice, if he's not, Beta Bob better bring extra stuff. It's called overcompensating for your lack of attraction, your lack of arousal to her.
And I don't know, now that I'm doing this video, maybe it was selfishness and not so much. Maybe he was taught good. I don't know. I took it because I'm such an optimist. I was like, oh, he doesn't have manners. But now that I'm doing it.
See, they don't even understand themselves. It's okay. It's okay, because women do things. They're so good at the psychological game. They're so good at choosing. This is respect for them. They don't even have, like, men, we got to learn this stuff. We got to bring it up to our conscience. And, this is why you're doing this. Women are just like a good shooter, a good shooter, muscle memory, pa, 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 pa. A good, let's say that's a gun shooter, right? A good shooter in basketball, like LeBron James or, Michael Jordan. He can't tell you how he does it, How do you actually do that, He just does it, right? This is what women do. They're so good at what they do, picking men and, all this stuff and, banging who they like. They don't even have to think about it. So when they start thinking about it, they become neurotic like this. Okay, let's do like maybe one more and we'll quit.
Like, maybe he's just slightly selfish or more than slightly selfish. What do you all think? Tell me. Would this have bothered you? I'm not going to go out with him again. It was just for me not a good night. But when I do find somebody I like, I'm going to share everything with you.
Here are the top 5 things I learned from online dating in my 50s. Number
Dating apps? You were on the dating apps and you learned 5 things. And why were you on the dating apps, ma'am? Because you love us. You're on the dating apps because that's where men are. And you learn something to be in the man's space. If you didn't like men, if you didn't need, I don't need a man. You don't need us, but you're there in our space. If we weren't there on those dating apps, you wouldn't be there. But because we're there, you came to the dating app to look for us. Thank you. We love
man
you.
that says you're too much, God bless him. Let him go find less. Number 2.
I didn't hear that. Let's see.
I'm going to share everything with you.
Here are the top 5 things I learned from online dating in my 50s. Number 1, a man that says you're too much, God bless him.
You're too much. Yeah. Women want to chase a man. Women want a man that's better than them. That's the hypergamous. That's hypergamy. Women date up, and some will argue they date up and across, but they definitely don't date down. When you're self-deprecating and you're saying she's too much, you're basically saying you're better than me, and she's not going to put up with that. Good point, ma'am. And nor should they. Dump those guys. I like that. I like her. She's pretty.
Find less. Number 2, some men will just freaking text you forever.
Well, those a lot of times they're in Lagos, Nigeria. They're either on an they're offshore oil rig, or they're in the military in Syria, and the government's not paying their things, and they need money. But why are you texting them forever? Because women will text because women love attention, and they'll text for months and months and months. If I'm a dude here, and guys, let's have a quick learning moment for men. Men, when you meet a woman, be direct and be a leader, and tell her, here's my number. Schedule a date, schedule a time to meet, and then you'll know. The more she cooperates with you, the more she likes you. If she doesn't cooperate with you, the more she doesn't like you. Any hesitation, any resistance is disinterest, guys. Shout out Mr. Lucario. Go watch his stuff.
Looking for a text buddy? Hard no. Number 3, inconsistent behavior.
Okay, Steve's okay. About to take that big bite of food, but that's Alpha Chad. Inconsistent behavior is a man with options and doesn't care about what you're doing. So again, this is the kind of paradox that women are in. They don't want men that want them too much, but they also don't want men that are, too aloof, So, but Beta Bob, who's consistent as hell, they're going to dump because they're not aroused by him. But Alpha Chad, he's got options, and he's like wishy-washy, and she can't get him to do what she wants or text her on the regular, and she wants consistent behavior. This is women that fall in love with Alpha Chad, and he's very aloof and doesn't do what they want.
No, thank you. That's a fuck no. And number 4.
Well, you don't like it, but you're going to keep doing it because you love to be aroused by Alpha Chad. You love a JJ.
Never, ever settle for bad behavior. It only gets worse. Number 5, ghosting is a gift.
It is. I agree with her. Ghosting is a gift. See, I agree with women when they're right. Now, she said, don't settle for bad behavior. It only gets worse. Which let's expose that language, right? It means she has settled for bad behavior before because the guy was hot. Once again, the other lady, I'm freaking brilliant. The other lady said the guy had bad manners. Well, he wasn't hot enough to have bad manners. Some guys are hot enough to be jerks and have bad manners. And I don't make the women. I don't think you should put up with guys with bad manners. I didn't make, go talk to God about this, but you guys do. And it's frustrating for men a lot of times because we've seen some of our great women friends who we love and respect put up with crap from men. And we're like, why are you I love him. No, the JJ's wet, right? So she exposed herself. Don't settle for bad manners, she said, or bad behavior. It means she has settled for bad behavior before. She knows it gets worse because she settled for bad behavior from Alpha Chad, the hot guy, and it gets worse. So that exposes them.
Oh, then 6 months from now, go find your man, Neville Shadow. He's out there.
It's hard going out there at an older age.
I think there's a fantasy that comes along with that. You know, like you're saying, oh, I see people that are on their second and their third marriage, but it's real. I think it's really hard. I mean, I haven't been out there for a long time, but I remember I was so happy to be out there, but it was really hard because also as you get to be at this stage in life, you're pretty set in your ways and what you like, what you don't like, and so is that person sitting across the table. So to find like someone that checks the boxes for each other, I think it's really hard. And
Have you ever noticed how holding on to someone or something?
All right, fellas, just address that last part, and then I'll leave it there. But you know, they said set in their ways. The guy sitting across from you set in her ways, and then she was set in her ways. But when the guy thinks you're hot as hell, and you think he's hot as hell, and there's genuine burning desire, you know, then you don't care about boxes being checked. You know, they're going on dates with guys they're not interested in, and men are going on dates with women that aren't interested in them. You know, and that's why we care about checking boxes. And you know, if it's not there, it's not there. You know, but the hot guy that arouses you, you're not set in your ways. Like I said, you still have the same feelings you did when you were 20. Boom! It gets the vajayjay gets wet. You get all tingly, and you don't care about boxes being checked anymore. So that's the you know, that's what they're not understanding. But yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and leave it there. Have a good day.